This is Gio on everything. Don't shit on my brainstorm, bitch.
This is Jarrett. Just Jarrett.
Mm-hmm.
This is Bryce Lansing with some fresh ink.
And I am Joshua B-eazi. And
This is the Takeoff Anytime podcast.
All right. Today, everybody, we have a couple new guests today. We got Cassandra in the building.
Whoop! What's up?
And we got Davion.
I have nothing to say.
You're gonna be the most active member on this episode.
I know, right? So you may hear his voice during this podcast, during this episode. Maybe not. Depends on how he feels.
Might replace him with Jarrett.
Yeah, right. You can't replace me. I'm like an integral part of this whole podcast.
If you have to say that, you might just be getting replaced.
Whatever.
I said, that sounds like someone in denial to me.
Yeah, all right.
To the left.
I'm gonna act like an angry girlfriend.
I am a good
If you kick
podcaster.
me out,
I am a good
You're
podcaster.
gonna see me outside with a bat smashing everybody's car.
You're clipping, Jerry. You should
I
have
didn't
screamed
clip.
that
I leaned
way.
back. That's how you do it. You gotta know your mic. Now, did I clip?
The hell was that?
Ain't no red mark up there. Boom. Your boy know what he's doing.
Google it.
Learn how to use a mic properly. Then come talk to me.
First of all,
Alright.
you screeched like a banshee, and you gonna tell me to learn how to use a mic properly? What was
But
that?
you burp like a retarded.
That was kind of like your hee haw. That's kind of like your hee haw earlier.
my hee haw.
When you was like,
That's back from the Motherland tribe.
no, from the pilot episode.
Oh yeah, but think about it, we had one mic. Look at that. You clipped already.
What? Hey man, I'm sorry, I'm not an audio engineer extraordinaire.
Yeah. So figure out your job. Stick to your position.
First of all,
Anyway, what's up, Cassandra?
Nothing.
Nothing. Just not
Chilling.
just
Put the
chill
mic
on the
in your mouth, girl.
podcast.
So he specifically
Chilling.
puts her on the spot. Okay.
That's what I do.
You guys come up with the subject and I'll talk.
Oh, look at that. She said she's ready for anything.
Well,
how about you come
I
up
had
with the subject? We can talk about tampons and pregnancy.
I think only one person here is qualified to talk about that.
Yeah.
What you trying to say?
You carried the baby for 9 months.
I have been kind of. You know what? I might as well. Shit.
Oh God.
You didn't know Giovanni was part penguin?
When you marry, you get pregnant too.
I think even
that how it
before you
works
marry,
out?
you're pregnant too.
Mumbo.
I know. I'll be having mood swings like a motherfucker.
You was having that. You be having that without women, so.
You know, I'm not even gonna argue about that.
You got an outstanding amount of estrogen in there.
Easy.
That's my mama and me, I guess.
Eating soy all his life.
The doctor's like, do your nipples hurt?
Yeah, you know, kinda.
You know,
Kinda.
honestly,
Just like
they do.
all the time.
all three of them.
Jesus Christ.
Why do you have
Gave his
three
ass a
nipples?
mammogram
First
at
of all,
13.
First of all, we need to figure out why you have 3 nipples.
Because I'm a mutant.
Okay. You know what? That's a horrible mutant power.
It's not
Just
power.
you know,
It's just a mutation.
You're like the Toad out of X-Men.
Yo, it's
Like,
it's different when you say that because I really believe you believe in mutants because you believe in vampires. So you probably believe in mutants. So you probably really believe you are one.
A mutant is just somebody with a mutation. So yes, there are deformed people, mutants.
oh, here we go.
And they're probably aliens to you too, huh?
should we
Yeah,
yell
that took a whole
They
2
could be.
minutes to get caught up in technicalities. We got Josh over here talking about little mutations, and we got Gio over here talking about the X-Men.
Because he's talking in the more comic book, fantasy type shit.
But
Yeah, but you guys are going to spend the next 40
from
minutes arguing
fantasies.
semantics.
No, I'm not.
No, just maybe just like 15.
Difference between mutants and a mutation.
And we're gonna have a long 30-minute conversation about that too.
I said 15, but
No, because we have every time we do one of these episodes, these two fools go back and forth for like 10 minutes.
he starts it every time.
No, that's another argument. Look, he's thinking about it.
You know,
He's thinking about it.
You're not arguing the fact that he starts arguing.
it's always funny because every time they start arguing, Bryce and I are like never really in this argument. Like,
No, but you know
We're
what?
trying to play the peacemaker.
We'll sit there and argue. We'll sit there and argue for 30 minutes, and Bryce will sum us up in a summary in like 2 minutes. So basically, you guys are talking about the mattress on the wall.
Bryce comes at the end of the episode, lights dim, and he like kicks his leg over his other one. He's like, "So this is a nice episode." It's like Bryce's final thought.
That's like two different. It's like two different podcasts.
And we like to We'd like to leave you with Bryce's thoughts for the week.
The only one that makes sense here.
Pretty much.
The only one
That's
that
what I
makes
should
sense
say
on
after
this
my intro.
podcast.
Bryce Lansing, the only one who makes sense here.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
sounds conceited.
No.
It really does.
No.
Hey,
The
I
only
was
one
not the
that
one who
makes
said it
sense.
first.
The only one that makes sense on this podcast.
Why you make
Gio,
that
you were
face?
the first person to say that.
No, Josh is the first one that said it. But
But
it was
when I
like
said it, I meant it for myself.
he was
not
talking
for
about
him.
himself, but Jarrett had said something about you. So then when you said something about Bryce, Josh immediately said the only one that makes sense on this podcast. And then I sat back and I was like, because he's white? So that's kind of where that came from.
Oh, yeah. Go to pilot episode to figure out what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right, episode 1. Check us out on SoundCloud, YouTube.
It's technically
we're just
pilot.
moving around.
The pilot episode.
We do need more subscribers, so we appreciate all the love that we can get. All right, so one thing that I did want to talk about today, guys. So I had shared the video on Facebook about, I can't recall what state it was right now, but basically they're trying to pass law that on birth certificates, they're trying to change it so that the parents have the option to make their child basically an X instead of a boy or a girl.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh, yeah.
So I wanted you guys take on that.
No.
You know, what's funny
what?
is I was at work and I showed my boss. I told my boss about our podcast and everything, and he actually wanted us to talk about it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna go his name because he has official tie-ins, and I don't want whatever we say to come
His
back on him.
name is.
Yeah, whatever. But he's a good dude. But anyway, he was telling me about all these different types of names for your type of gender and sexes. Like one girl was saying how she doesn't want to be claimed by. She's non-binary is how she put it. Like she's not a 0 or a 1. I guess you can say it's not a man nor a female. So when you're talking about an X, that's literally what they're saying. Like they're kind of just saying you're nothing until you decide to be something.
So are you asexual?
See, and that's something, I understand if an adult want to say that they're nothing, but for you to choose for your child, whether they're a boy or a girl or an X, is stupid as fuck.
Okay, but what is this X?
X is nothing, basically.
So you just ain't got nothing down there until you decide what
no,
you want.
no. I mean, theoretically, kind of. You do have a penis or a vagina when you're born. That's what, it's been going off of, that we're a boy or a girl. But the X is basically, they don't want to disclose whether they are a boy or a girl.
So here's a question, because you might know more. You've looked up more on this than I have. So can they change it later when they do decide, or is it they stuck with the X for the rest of their life?
I would think they could. I don't know. I don't
Because if they
know.
can change it, then it makes more sense. Because what happens when you move to another state and you need to do something that requires your birth certificate?
I'm
If the other
assuming
state
that's
doesn't
what the
recognize.
X. I think I'm assuming that's what the X is for. So when the child gets of age to make a decision what they want, then they can choose. I want to be
See,
a.
No, look.
But why can't it be backwards? Why can't it be that things be just like they have been for the past beginning of time, okay? And everybody is a boy or a girl, because that's what the fuck you are. You are you either have a penis or you have a vagina. And even if you are born a hermaphrodite, okay? When people are born a hermaphrodite, they're basically put to whatever organ works. If the penis works, then they close up the vagina and you're a boy. If you have fallopian tubes and a working reproductive system, then they chop off the penis and then you're a girl. You know what I'm saying? It's either one or the other, because if not, then we would know a lot more about people who actually have both working penises and vaginas, and therefore a man kind of can get pregnant. But yet we've never heard of that shit.
All right, peep. I know what they're gonna do, right? So you know how when you was in school and you went up to a girl and you was like, "Do you like me?" Check X for yes. Check X for no. Yeah. So they're gonna come up to the kid and they're gonna be like, "All right, son, sit down," or "All right, X, sit down." So they're gonna put a laptop in front of them and they're gonna be like, "Choose this one or this one, the blue or the pink. Which one?" They choose the blue. You are a boy.
This is the matrix of gender picking.
Dun.
You see, and with the whole thing stupid is the fact that, if they did do something like that and the parent said, okay, we're going to classify my child as an X, and they're clearly a boy, a straight boy, okay, and then they do something what Giovanni just said and they say, oh no, I'm a girl. Can you imagine the confusion that's going to be to the rest of the world?
My problem is this, right? Because I can understand that kind of thinking for people that go through things like that, because there are people who grow up, there's a boy who feels like all his life he was a girl, there's a girl who all her life felt like a boy. But why would you do that to everybody? Why would you plant that seed
on a child,
in everybody? Yeah, on a kid. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, you gotta let people be what they are. You can't do that to nature. Like there's countries where they're letting rich people choose, you know what I'm saying, the kid's eye color and how the kid looks, and you know what I'm saying, and you messing with genetics, and it's proven that you start messing with that and things are gonna go bad for you. Like,
you're talking about
stop messing with stuff.
You're talking about when they're in vitro, right? That's what you're.
Yeah.
Because I heard of that too. Like, a lot of people are like going in and saying, okay, I want my kids to have blue eyes. I want them to have blonde hair, stuff like that. I mean, I know I just made it sound like a Hitler thing, but
Then they
I didn't
come
mean to.
What are they making? Androids?
No, they're not.
Then they come out with blue hair and blonde eyes.
They call them basically designer babies because basically you can decide to a degree what you want your kid to look like before you're even conceived.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No. What it is, Davion, is they're so say you wanted like a kid, like you know, you play a game, right? And you do a create a character. That's literally what you're doing with your kid. You know
That's impossible.
No,
not for rich people.
I knew stuff was possible when they cloned that goat. I was like, everything can happen.
We ain't goats.
You don't know that. We could be vampires.
Let Josh tell it. Anyway, I'm just saying. I feel like once you start messing with nature, man, things just start going bad. Like, you can't do that. It's ridiculous. Like, why can't you just love your child that's born? Just love the child that's born. That's the whole point of the surprise. Why you got to control what comes out? Right. You're supposed to love what's born. That's your child. Everything about it is a surprise. Meeting somebody new, bonding with somebody new, loving them for who they are, raising them and guiding them in the way that they should go. Not screwing them from the time they're born. Like, they gonna have plastic surgery on the kid. I don't like that nose.
But that's the crazy thing is they do that. A lot of people do have plastic surgery for their kids.
I bet they do.
Which is the crazy thing.
Botox.
But the whole thing is, it's not about what you love as your kid. It's what society accepts your child as. And that's the problem. That's what it's coming down to. So if you don't give your kid a gender or whatever, you know, then it's like, how do we really, you know, how do we specify how we should treat? Because everything is like stuck into like a certain lane. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a girl, you're supposed to get treated a certain way. In the simplest terms, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Then if you're a boy, you're another way. Like boys play with action figure, girls play with dolls. You know, that whole thing.
They used to.
Yeah. You used to, but that's the thing now. So it's like, how do you even go about it? Because now people are just saying, I'm not a boy, I'm not a girl. You know, like, some people want to be even labeled as like a bobcat. That's a real thing. That's not even me just with a stupid joke. That's a real thing.
Josh, did you say that? I knew it was coming. I knew you was gonna say something like that. You want to be a bobcat? First, you want to be a vampire. When the fuck did I say that? Now you want to be a bobcat? Jesus,
you weren't supposed to know. He told me that in confidence.
Jesus.
Okay. I didn't say shit about no bobcat. I might have said a bear. You know, maybe even a gorilla.
You would be a bear.
You know,
Bet you'd be a bear in San Francisco too. Wouldn't
I just
you?
believe in letting real shit be real shit. You know what I'm saying? Like what Cat Williams said. You gotta let real shit be real shit. You can't do that. Like, if that kid, you gotta let that kid be what it is. If that kid decides or ends up being confused, then you got to let that kid work through that. If that kid is born a boy and it's like, I want to be a girl, then you got to let that kid work through that. If that girl is born and wants to be and talk about, I want to be a boy, then you got to let that kid work through that. You can't decide stuff like that from the jump. You can't do that. It's just what it is. That's why you have a whole nation of the LGBTQ. That's why you have a whole nation of this. You have a whole nation of that, because those are things that people go through life, and it's just what you got to let people go through.
I think there's going to be a lot of angry kids when they get a teenage age and they start to understand. Like, Mom, why I was born a girl? Why didn't you just say it?
They're already angry.
Right.
The kid's already angry.
Why confuse the child, you know, from jump, and why subject them to such, you know, ridicule that they're going to receive from kids? Because when we've all, you know, back in school, when we were through elementary school and middle school and high school, we all gone through a phase when we were made fun of for some reason. You know what I'm saying? I was made fun of because I was fat, or I had the chili bowl back when I used to go to Walter French. You know?
But you got through it just like everybody else.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got to let kids go through that kind of adversity. That's what molds the child and makes the person who they are. You know?
Yeah.
But it's like nowadays, and listen, I swear to God, you got to make a disclaimer about every single thing you say now. Everything. I'm not saying that bullying is okay. Right. But nowadays, the way that they've the way that they've softened things on kids, you know what I'm saying, and the way that society is as far as the bullying and the bullied, it makes it more amplified on both ends. It makes the bullying rougher and it makes the bullied, you know what I'm saying, softer. It makes, like, you know what I'm saying, these kids are killing themselves over things kids are saying because it's just getting worse around all across the board. It's crazy.
Yeah, but that's the problem though. Like, everyone has to get put into a certain category, so these kids are becoming like very suicidal because they don't know where they belong. You know what I mean? And it's becoming like really. It's becoming really like it's actually kind of depressing if you think about it. 'Cause, I mean, I've never had to experience the identity crisis or anything like that. But to be in a situation where you feel like, what you say?
They didn't call you short back in the day?
Yeah. Oh, that being short's not identity crisis. I know that I'm short. And like I feel like I'm 6'2". I'm a trans tall guy. Like, you know,
when you was a kid, you wish that you were taller.
Nah, I was happy with being short because
it's just something you accept.
Yeah. If a bomb happened and the bomb shelters are little, guess who's getting in?
I'm good to go.
Not you.
What?
I bet I'll be in there. You know, but the whole thing, like it's interesting being in school now. Well, I'm not in school now. Davion, maybe you can chime in on this one. Like being in high school that you are, but I don't like we didn't have that when we were in high school.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, we didn't have to worry. Like, the most we had was someone was gay. Like, I think the biggest thing we had is somebody we thought old boy was a girl until he turned around. Because we was like, dang, he got really nice hair. And then he turned around, I was like, oh, that's a dude. You know, like that. Because that's the furthest we had. We didn't have someone being like.
I don't think I've ever done that.
British.
I'm saying, it's that one dude. I'm not going to say his name.
Starts with a T?
Huh?
Starts with a T?
I think so. Yeah, let's not go any further than that.
Okay.
So what do you think being in high school, David? How does this feel for you?
How would you feel?
Going to high school I go to now,
Yeah.
it feels way different. In elementary there was that one kid that you thought was gay or something. Mm-hmm. But going to high school, it don't matter what you are. Like, if you bi, gay, whatever, people just don't care. Like, it's been around for way too long. So they just stop caring. Like, they don't make fun of anybody like that anymore.
Okay, so what do you see people getting made fun of?
I mostly see people getting made fun of because of their personality, because how they act weird. Like this. Oh, never mind. I'm gonna say his name.
Don't say nobody.
Don't say his name. Don't say his name. But I feel like this is like something that we should talk about. Okay, so what is, you would say somebody would get made fun of? What is weird? What is this weird of which you speak?
So while everybody's working in class, he might have like a little toy, like a little Hot Wheels car, which I used to play with when I was like 7. Yeah, I stopped when I was like 9. But if he like brought a toy car, if like he was too hyper and wanted to sit down or just run around the room, and he would get a lot of hate if he used to talk about people. Like, that's not cool whatsoever. But if someone talks about you, then you get. I mean, if you talk about someone, then you get a lot of hate. But if other people talk about you, since you already have the hate, it's okay. Like,
so it's like once you have the hate, it's okay to have those comments towards you now.
Yeah.
Because you're already looked down upon.
Yeah.
So you can't condemn other people, but unless you're condemning somebody who has already condemned somebody else.
Most
I think that's only with certain schools though, because if I really sit back and think about it, with our daughter, you know, she goes through a lot of bullying at school because of how she is, how they say, well, she's in special ed, you know, she's not smart like us. We know, you can look at Desiree, you can after being with her, you can tell something's off a little bit, like she's disabled. And people don't like different. Kids don't like different. If someone's different than me, they slower than me, then they're different. So I'm going to pick at her because I know she can't defend herself. Everything, she comes home and she's upset because boys and girls, they all pick at her, you know?
So Cassandra's my wife, and I have a question for you, my wife. You had an experience with bullying in school. What was what was that like, and what did it do to you? What did it change for you about yourself and how you feel yourself?
Well, Josh, my best friend, he knows. Bryce knows what I've been through, especially Josh.
Me and Cassandra go way back, preschool.
The most hardest thing was being called bald-headed in middle school. Josh always laughed at that. That really bothered me as my best friend because women, their hair is like everything. Back in the day, it was everything. You know, if it's too short, you were ugly and you weren't accepted. So, me having different clothes because my parents couldn't afford those nice clothes that other kids had, I was also bullied. My shoes, my hair, everything wasn't good enough. My mom didn't have time to tend to her girls because she works overnight.
So how did this change your self-image, or what did it do to change about how you maneuvered and how you dressed and how you wore your hair or how you just generally operated?
To be honest with you, I still suffer from like self-hate. Like I hate myself. Like
it's giving you a complex, basically.
Yeah, like I've never shown anyone my real hair anymore. Like
she really doesn't.
I don't feel pretty if my hair is not the way, like if it's not past my shoulder lengths, or I try to get over that, but if I not just wear my natural hair, I'm like, oh my God. I don't feel comfortable. And that's all from the bullying. Like I feel like I'm not good. I'd be seen as this ugly woman, you know?
So, and we've been out of high school like for 10 years over. Why does that still bother you to this day?
I don't know. Just some things it's hard to get over.
And I feel like, why would you, in the fact that you want to do things like that to kids so young, to like babies that are defenseless, like why would you set a precedence that early?
Right. I mean, it's not exactly the same thing because, I mean, we're talking about basically having your child gender neutral versus them being made fun of appearance wise and materialistic wise, you know. But I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same concept in a way.
But why?
I definitely. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think, and I'm playing devil's advocate here because I actually kind of fall more on the other side of the argument, which is outside of where I normally view. I usually fall on a more liberal view. But just to play the devil's advocate, I would think that the parents who want to do that, you know, third non-gender gender on the birth certificates, I think they're trying to prevent that because they're trying to prevent it by not saying that this is a boy. That way, if they do grow up and if they choose to dress like a girl, they don't get made fun of because they made that determination at the beginning of their life that they were a boy.
But at the same time, though, this is the kicker, though. If you don't get made fun of for that, you will get made fun of for something. It's just what it is. It's just like it's inevitable. You can't prevent things like that. Mm-hmm. It's like you just have to let nature be nature, because it's just like you don't know, so you don't know that soon. It's like you have to grow through life and you got to pick what you got to pick what you're going to be. You got to pick the consequences that come with it, and you got to roll with those punches. That's just what life is.
And you know what's weird, because I sit back and I look at all the bullies that I had. I have a lot of them on Facebook. And I sit back and I'm like, dang, you know, they picked at me for years. 9th grade was like the last year I actually had an encounter or a bad year. And then after that, it was wonderful. 10th grade, 11th, 12th was amazing years, the best years of my life. When I got older and I see these people on Facebook and I see their kids, and I'm like, damn, don't none of their kids got hair, you know?
Oh, yeah, karma.
Yeah. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, and it's not to be mean, it's just to say like, damn, like what if someone did that to your child? Mm-hmm. Right. These same parents that did that bullying to me, what if, I'm pretty sure their kids, like there's specifically one, I know somebody didn't say something to that child about their hair. Yeah. And
shout
like
out to that person, that ugly ass baby.
But I feel like
Josh. Oh my God.
On the same token though, if those were, you know what I'm saying, black girls just like you, grew up in the same neighborhoods that you did, their parents used the same hair products on their hair, they probably just kept it up, and they probably had the same shit under their head that you was wearing every day in school. So it's just like, what is you saying to me?
Right. Yeah, but think about it. I mean, you are right in the terms of like bullying kids. Kids will find a reason to come down on you.
Facts.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just true. Now, I would say it's a little different when you talk about sex because that's a big ordeal. You know, you can get your hair cut a different way. You can lose weight. You can wear a wig. You can buy new shoes. You know what I'm saying? But something you can't change how you feel internally. You know what I'm saying? You can try, but you just can't. So if someone wants you to identify as a man just because you have a penis, you know what I mean? But then you identify as a woman, I mean, that's something you can't get over. You know what I mean? But I understand because like in our family, if anybody don't know, Davion's my nephew here. But in our family, Davion, we probably blaze every time we see each other, don't we?
Mostly.
Yeah, we did it earlier before we came out. You know, but that's how we are. You know, that's my family. You know, we're always like that. But that's kind of what made me tough. Like my brother used to tell me that, you know, he used to tell me to pass the butter when we were at the dinner table when we were little, and I'm like, ain't no butter. He'd be like, I'm talking about the stuff on your teeth. You know, and literally, like to this day, like if I don't brush my like you see my teeth now, like I used to go to sleep with like Crest white strips on my teeth. You know what I mean? Because my teeth are like mad white. Now the days I don't brush my teeth, I like keep my lips together.
Metro Grooming wants some more. Hey.
But so it's weird. Like sometimes I feel like those type of, like I'm not saying hard bullying, but just little comments here and there. They kind of like help you, kind of define you, kind of figure out your way how to be stronger. But then there are the other comments like, you know, like constantly ragging on somebody, like in your case, Cassandra, because that could be something that can definitely stick with you, or something like is your sex. Like there's just some things you can't get over.
Well, see, I can understand that, but and I got you. But this is the last thing that I had to say about this topic. I can understand if there was just like a vast majority, like an epidemic of kids just being born and not knowing what they are, but it's not. There's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that there's not that many, but it's not that many to where it's like an epidemic of kids being born not knowing what they are. It's not like a birth defect. This is just there are people that are like that, and how do you know? Why would you set that precedent so early? Why? I don't understand that. Because it's people that grow up that's born. There's many men that's born boys, and their boys all their life. There's plenty of women that's born women and born women all their life, and then you have the few that are like that. Right. How do you know? But why would you do that to everybody? I don't get that. It makes no sense to me.
And it wouldn't be everybody, Giovanni. It would be the parents that wanted to do that.
But then at the same time, if it becomes available, then, you know what I'm saying, what's going to happen is they're going to pass laws about it, and it'll be available to everybody. Like, I feel like eventually things like that, people, it'll be made available to everybody, because a lot of things just spread by word of mouth. So somebody will have a rich friend that did it, and then they'll want to do it, and then somebody else will have a friend that did it, and then they'll want to do it, and then they'll pass some laws about it, and then you'll see it in every hospital.
But that's the whole point. That's the whole. I mean, they are trying to pass it as a law to put it. You know, when you have a child and they bring you the birth certificate and say, hey, what's the baby's name? What's the baby's gender? Like they are trying to make it accessible to everybody.
If you want to do that, go build a freaking robot. That's ridiculous.
Them androids.
Ridiculous.
Before we get too far away from it, though, there was something there. There, admittedly, a little bit I want to say. I'll try not to go off on a rant. But there was a word that Jarrett had said when he was last speaking that I thought was really important. He said, you know, when it's constant. And when Cassandra was talking about that, and I think that, you know, she got very real, and thank you, Cassandra, for that. And in my experience, and I don't mean to try and make these sound equal or to try and downplay your experience in any way, shape, or form, because I think that women, unfortunately, especially teenage girls, can be mean to other teenage girls in a way that guys can't even come close to.
Yeah, cruel.
I mean,
but
I don't know about that, because
the reason I say I'm not trying to downplay it is anybody who's ever seen a picture of me, and I realize this is a podcast, knows that I bald. I shave my head.
I'm bald too.
I shave my head because I have a receded hairline and I have a bald spot. I don't generally make that public knowledge, but I don't hide it either. And it's because when it is a constant, going back to, that was the key word Jarrett said that got me on this, when it is constant, that people are constantly making fun of you for something, you can't help but be brought down at least a little bit by that. Because if that's just if that is the way that you think other people view you, eventually that's the way you're going to view yourself.
And I can attest to that, because, you know, I have been called fat all my life, you know, and
Ditto.
I'm to the point where I do call myself that. You know what I'm saying? Even when I talk with my fiance, and, you know, a lot of times I make jokes to her, you know, when she doesn't want to kiss me, or, you know, or she doesn't want to do something for me, I'm like, oh, so you don't want to kiss me because I'm fat? You know, I do for real. You know, and I'm like, I say it as a
self cry.
no, I'm not gonna funny, but I say it as a joke. But at the same time, you know, it kind of comes out because I have been basically that's been put in my brain since I was little. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
Elementary.
I was fat. I was made fun of. You know, back then I had the fucked up haircut, the chili bowl back in Walter French. You know, I remember even back in middle school, you know, I used to wear sweatpants all the time, and kids used to make fun like you don't own a pair of jeans. I'm like, no, you know, I have sweatpants. I have sweatpants on right
But
fucking
see,
now.
the thing that I see about you is you have what not a lot of other people have is that you yourself, you could take that and you have a way of dealing with it to where you can deal with it on a positive note or outwardly positive. I don't know if it inwardly affects you negatively, but
no, not anymore.
you know what I'm saying? Somebody like me, you know what I'm saying, who not only in school, but, you know what I'm saying, from members of my family, from people that I trusted. I was always the fat kid. I was always the unpopular one. I was always, you know what I'm saying, the one that didn't have the best clothes. You know what I'm saying? I was always the one that was the outcast. So, yeah, those things turn into self-hate. You know what I'm saying? And it's just people have different ways of dealing with things.
Especially when you go to school and you deal with it, and then you go home and deal with the same bullshit.
That makes it 10 times worse.
That is worse
10
because
times
I didn't
worse.
get a break. I went home, dealt with it.
Me either.
Well, I mean, it's at home dealing with it, at school dealing with it. No matter where I go, the church, no matter where I go, people said something. So eventually, I started hating myself. I'm like, okay, this is what something about me. These people hate. I have to change this.
Yeah, I think it's all about what you have on the inside. Because even though I was always made fun of being fat and whatnot, you know, I've always had the complex. I've always had the confidence in myself to know that I'm gonna be great. You know what I'm saying? And anybody knows me, I always say that I'm Joshua Brown and I'm the shit. Cause that's how I feel. Right. I have the confidence in myself to know that I'm the shit.
Right.
You know, and one thing that also made it better for me growing up is the fact that when I got to 8th grade, I started getting girls. You know what I'm saying? And like whether I was fat or not, I was a cute fat kid. You know what I'm saying? I got girls. I got, you know, mad attention. I had friends. You know, it's like I guess I had a good personality, and people kind of look past the whole fat aspect or whatever. You know, but those type of things, it built up my self-esteem, right? You know, personally, and that's what made me, you know, to the person that I am today.
See, I think that's the big thing, the big word you said. Self. I feel like I'm Bryce now, but no.
So basically, what you just said.
I'm gonna take away from Josh said the big word. No, but self-esteem. That's a big thing because now I've gained a little weight. You know, like I've gotten to the point where I realized I gained too much weight because when you start putting on pants and you shimmy, you know, you realize you gain a little weight. Oh yeah. You know, I was like, I really got to lay down to put on these pants, like you know.
Story of my life.
Yeah, it's rough. I get it. That's why I don't talk about big people. I'm like, I get it. You know what I mean?
Welcome through to the other side.
I gotta go get me some new pants. But anyway, so I have people that would constantly like tell me like, oh man, you're getting big, you know, stuff like that. And at first it's kind of like, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Then it starts to settle in. You start to look in the mirror.
But not big in the bad way. It's just, you know.
Well, my first, mine always comes in like little, like, because I've always been the skinny person. You know what I mean? Like remember 10 years ago, I was only like $130, you know, soaking wet. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Then like even all the way into like the last few years of my life, like I've always been relatively skinny. You know what I mean? And so it's like these last years is what's been changing for me, you know. But I think a lot of people will say things to you because they feel like they feel like if they say it to you, you are more likely to change who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like if I kept calling you like someone was to keep calling me big, like I mean you're getting big, you know, then that's like their incentive to like they would think that's my incentive to go to the gym more. But in reality, it's not like that because a lot of times after a while it just starts to beat you down. And it's like I get it, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't like, you know, I don't like this because I'm gonna be honest with you. This is not what I'm used to. So this is you know, this is a lot. But I know mine stems from something else, which I'm not gonna go too far into. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But it's just the fact, like I think at first it's okay because it's all playing. But I think at some point when you make these comments, you have to realize like sometimes people are not like.
We all got personal. So what does it stem from, Jarrett?
Oh, you gonna get personal here?
I
We don't
wanna
have
know.
to.
Wait.
What do you
Yeah, so you don't have to share anything you don't want to share.
I know. So
Right.
all right, so here's
But
my
no.
so let me
Right.
okay, I'll get a little personal. So here's the reason why I say this comes from self-esteem, because in my last relationship, we there was a lot of tension between us two, and when it started happening, it made my self-esteem drop. It made me start feeling like, okay, I'm not good enough, I'm not handsome enough, I'm not fit enough, I'm something, and it kept dragging me down to the point I wasn't sleeping, I was always stressed out. You know what I mean? And my self-esteem just never built back up.
Okay,
So now-
listen. Before anybody else talks, I don't try to get into these subjects to put anybody on the spot. Bryce, I appreciate what you said about your hair. That was great. Josh, what you said about your weight, what I said about mine. Cassandra, what you said about what you went to school, and what you said about marriage is extremely is extremely important, because there may be anybody out there listening that could relate to that.
Yeah.
And the one thing that helps you get through shit like that is having somebody else that's going through that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And they seem like they're doing all right.
And the thing is, not when you say that, I have people who come to me like who's are in marriages and they're having a hard time, and I talk to them and I actually like give them my story. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say too much here because as I said, I'm not going to put her down. I'm not going to put her name out
Yeah,
there.
you said
You know
it.
what I'm saying? But it becomes to the fact, like, when you're in a marriage, you have to realize, like, a lot of times when somebody is going through stuff, like, and I was going through that, I knew I was gaining weight. I knew I was having a hard time focusing. Like, I wasn't even doing my hair. And everybody know me. I care a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty boy.
Metro
Pretty boy.
grooming.
So it became a point, like, if you see somebody and you can tell that they're just constantly on this kind of downward spiral, then you shouldn't keep commenting on them, because it's not helping them. It's only like making them dig more into that, into that lower level.
You know what helped me was the only thing that I have issues as far as
I helped
what I went through is my hair. But after a while, I just started sitting back and I'm like, damn, like you get tired after a while. You get tired mentally. Like right now, I don't give a damn no more. You don't like how I look? I got a husband to do. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't. You don't like how I smell, how my hair is? I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't.
And
Because it's tiring. You wake up every day like, okay, I'm going to put this on because this person said they didn't like it. I'm going to put something on different. I'm like, damn, like if I change everything about me that people didn't like, I wouldn't be me.
And they still find something they won't
They will
like
always,
about it.
they still going to find something that they don't like about Cassandra. So
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck it.
Sum it up, Bryce.
Well, and that
Sum it
was-
up, Bryce.
No, it was perfect, because actually I was gonna say kind of the same thing that she did before she said it. Is I feel like when people are made fun of for any particular reason, whether it's weight, appearance, the way you act, orientation, gender, whatever the case may be, I feel like there's generally one of three things that happens. Either one, you become a self-fulfilling prophecy and you become or stay whatever people are making fun of you for. Two, you completely try to change it. I think about that with weight, especially because I'm more physically active than I've ever been in my entire life right now. And the third is just you make peace with it, which was what Cassandra was just saying. Is you have to recognize when people are making fun of you for something that really isn't worth making fun of for.
Right. Say it once, say it loud. I'm fat and I'm proud.
I'm in the middle, so I'm not gonna say that quite yet.
The reason I thought of that was Jarrett said 130 soaking wet. I am 5'8" and I am actually 128 pounds.
Dang, I feel like we were playing Price is Right.
And I get made fun of, or I used to get made fun of, and I literally just stopped paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Because you're so skinny, you're so skinny, you're so skinny. And it's like, so I can bench my own body weight. Can you do that?
Dang, that's
Not
actually
you,
impressive.
but
Yeah.
on a good day. On a good day.
But peep though. But peep though.
now we're gonna get competitive.
Does being called skinny?
Meet me at the gym, Bryce.
Does being called skinny stab anywhere near as much as being called fat?
I think it does. Because you got
How?
No,
That's
I should say how, because I get called skinny all the time, and I don't care. I'd be like,
yeah, but that's where it stems from. It stems from your own self-confidence, your self-esteem.
The only person who calls people skinny is a fat person trying to, get mad at.
No, because here's the thing.
Like, that's just
okay.
dumb.
But
Take it back to when I was single. Girls don't want to be with a scrawny guy. Generally speaking, girls don't want to be a scrawny guy. So every time somebody called me scrawny, it was something that I was not to satisfy society's way of how I should look. I should have been more muscular. I should have put on more weight. And
So you're saying that people calling you scrawny back when you actually were, or still are, but you're saying that hurts you, that you think that hurts you just as much as it hurts me or Giovanni or Cassandra, or Jarrett, if someone calls us fat.
Me personally, no, but I think it could someone else.
I don't agree with that. It's not about what we all think. It's about what that person personally feels.
That's
Right,
facts, though.
that's
That's
fine.
Because
facts, though. That's
he
facts,
might
though.
he might be called fat. Like you, for instance, fat is not a big thing. If I call you fat right now, you'd be like cool with it. But
sexy
with
shit.
him, he'll be like, damn, like he'll laugh about it, but at home he'd be like, damn, that really bothered me that she called me fat. And just because I'm fat and he's skinny, and someone say, hey, damn, man, you're nothing but a bag of bones, he still might feel bad about that. It's not about what we think. It's about what he thinks personally.
Yeah.
It might, being called fat, like, shit. Damn, people like, oh my God, you're fucking fat.
I guess.
But if he feels, Bryce feel like, damn, skinny is not good enough. I have to get some muscle. I have to go. He still mentally goes through the same thing I'm going through.
Mm-hmm.
It's just being called totally two different things.
Yeah, I feel that.
Okay, but I guess that I worded that wrong. My apologies. I guess I wasn't saying that.
No, I thought it was a fair question.
I don't feel like I guess I was wrong in saying that you the way that you feel when somebody calls you scrawny versus the way that we feel when somebody calls us fat. I just think that the way that it is portrayed, the way that, I mean, you don't see people on TV, you know what I'm saying, with the before and after pictures going from skinny to buff. You see people on the before and after going from fat to little. You know what I'm saying? That it was portrayal.
I think
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
more, I
That
agree,
was what I was
agree
talking
with you,
about.
though. I
Yeah.
think it's more societal, just
Yeah,
because,
that's-
we have TV shows, literal TV shows about people losing gratuitous amounts of weight.
Yeah.
You know, and another thing, I think it also depends on.
Fuck Biggest Loser.
I think it depends on the person that
fired.
calls you a name. You know what I'm saying? Because if Jessica, of my fiance, was to flat out call me fat, it probably would hurt.
Yeah.
You know,
that
or
shit hurts.
or even if I had a girlfriend or somebody and leave me because they said I was too heavy for them.
Jarrett.
I was hoping you wouldn't say it.
That's funny.
We're about to go in after
Wait.
your
Josh, you were saying.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Josh. No, it's not about me. Go ahead.
Right. But
I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna back in my
We
mind.
talked about this last podcast. Though.
I think
Please see episode 2 to get that reference.
All right.
okay, but back to what I was saying. You know, if someone who you cared for or you like, you know,
Whose
is the-
opinion matters to you.
yeah, who opinions matters to you,
Yeah.
you know, puts you down. I think that would hurt me personally
Facts.
a lot more. And there's there's a very small list of people who can actually fucking hurt me.
Facts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Facts.
Like
I don't even think I can hurt you.
No, you can't. You know,
Damn, dude.
Damn.
but I mean, the only people who I truly care about their opinion really is my mom, of course, and even she doesn't affect me as much as it used to be, and of course my fiance. You know,
Makes sense.
there may be some other that I can't think of at the top of my head, but you know, those are the two people who I really do care about, and I do respect their opinion. You know what I'm saying? If my woman doesn't want to have sex with me or doesn't want to be seen with me because I'm too fat and I can't fit in her car or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that shit's gonna hurt.
That shit hurts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But see, I want to take that a step further because, when to expound upon what you said and to expound upon what my wife said, when you said that, people calling you that, being that it hurts only coming from people that their opinion matters to you. I take that a step further, saying that when it's everybody calling you that, then the hammer kind of comes down a little bit harder. You know what I'm saying? Because I've had people at school, and then I've gone home to have brothers and sisters and cousins and everybody, just like little kids. The first word they're saying, "Oh, you're fat."
Yeah.
Like that shit is just
when it's coming at you from all directions.
Every
Yeah, because
fucking
then it's not
direction.
just Sally at the office calling you
Yeah.
fat. Then that's the way society views you. You
Yeah,
walk out
and
the
then-
door
yeah.
and you feel, even if it's not true, you feel like every single person that you pass on the street, that's what they think.
That's
when
what they
see
think.
you.
And literally, I've been down in my weight, and I literally didn't even know it. Like I've literally been smaller, and literally the vision that the perception that I saw of myself when I looked in the mirror, didn't want to take pictures. Like I've looked at pictures that I looked at when I took them, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm fat as shit." And I look at it now, like, "Damn, I was kind of fit." You know what I'm saying? Because that was how I saw myself.
Yeah,
that shit is crazy.
That's exactly how I felt in high school. You know, exactly how I fixed. I remember back in high school, even Bryce used to call me fat in high school, and I think back in high school, I was the skinniest I've ever been.
You was skinnier.
You know what I'm saying?
I
And
mean,
like,
the picture that I posted of me
which is the
standing
funny
together.
thing, and I'll be honest, Josh, I'm sorry, I don't remember any of that, but
man.
I would
I'm
know,
aware.
but I believe you that I would said it.
And
the
he
funny
said
thing
no one
is,
could
10
hurt
years
him.
later, I think back
But he
to the
remembers
way,
that.
I think back to the way that you and I looked, and nowadays I would have never considered you fat. If I did back then, truly, I apologize, but it's just weird how that crap changes.
I didn't consider you fat. I considered you tall. That's it.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, all my
Everybody's
friends are
tall
taller than
compared to
except Gio. We were about the same height.
Yeah.
And Cassandra, you know you're shorter than the rest of us.
yeah.
But
I know.
But no, like even when I was in the military, and I think I'm gonna move on. But even when I was in the military, like, you know, I came in as a small guy who could run 3 miles in, 19 minutes, 18 minutes on a good day. You know what I mean?
you can run that far. In
I
3
could.
minutes?
Yeah,
God
I
damn.
could.
Wait,
Yeah.
how many miles?
3 miles.
Like 19
In what time?
minutes.
The first time I did it in boot camp, it was 18 flat, and then it got a little higher. So like when I got out, it was around 21 minutes.
Damn.
Yes, I was
All right,
moving.
yeah.
Yeah, so think about it now. Like now, I'm 28. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, if I jog for a mile, I'm just like, oh,
Damn.
what is this?
I
What
can't
is
go.
this
I
like?
can't go up the stairs.
I'm telling you, man. I was carrying groceries one day, and I got to the top of my stair. I used to live like in the 3rd floor in an apartment building. And I was like, I'm not going back for
Hey,
the
man,
rest of them.
That shit get real. Look, like real shit. So, not to toot my own horn or anything, I'm still fat as fuck.
Toot.
But since last June, I lost, as of right now, a total of 96 pounds. Okay? Now,
Clap.
back then, I realized I was getting too fucking fat when shit got hard to do that was never hard before.
Yep.
Like wiping my ass. Listen,
That one before.
that's real shit. Okay? And when it got hard for me to wipe my own ass,
Oh, hold on. Before
no,
you
for
finish,
real.
all I can think of, right? I'm sorry, I don't mean because you're only time. One thing I can think of is if you say that, I would think of Big Daddy. I wipe my own ass.
No, for real. What kept playing in my mind?
Yeah.
A few weeks before I came to this realization that I was getting too fucking fat, I was listening to a stand up of Steve Harvey, and Steve Harvey was talking about what I think a wife does for her man, and one of the things he said is that a good woman would even wipe her man's ass.
Oof.
You know what I'm saying? And but not black women though.
I would.
You bet not.
Well, you okay. In the defense, you are a Cena. You are used to
I'm
wiping
not a
ass.
Cena anymore,
or
but-
you used to be. Okay,
Medical
but
assistant now.
basically, I thought about
Graduated.
I'm gonna get so fat that I'm gonna have to take my ass to the car wash down the street and basically I have to have them spray my ass out.
Why can't you just use a shower head?
Because I don't have one of them shower heads. You know what
For
I'm saying?
Christmas,
But
we're
listen,
all buying
quit
Josh
this
a bidet. We're getting them bidet.
hey, I actually looked into one too.
PG-13.
Okay, but listen. What I'm saying is that shit like that got hard for me. Walking up the stairs, I'm huffing and puffing, sweating, walking up the fucking stairs. I didn't realize back then that I had ED until I lost weight.
You're gonna have to explain what that is. I'm sorry.
ED
man.
is erectile dysfunction.
Your dick ain't working.
Okay.
Oh yeah, send your clips again.
Yeah, she's always gonna clip. But basically, like I said, I didn't realize I had it. You know what I'm saying? Like I would still, you know what I'm saying, be good at times, but other times I wouldn't be able to get up and perform the right way. You know, and I realize now that that's because I was fat as fuck. You know?
Yeah, it's change that you have to come up on. Like I've even known. Like I said, I'm not huge. You know what I'm saying? But I am to the point where it's uncomfortable. Like this, like I'm only 5'7". So I'm saying the weight that I have, which I'm not going to disclose. The weight that I have is too much for me at this moment. You know what I'm saying? Especially coming from from when I used to be like, and that's the problem. Like I still have those military standards in my head. So every time I look at myself and I can't perform as much as I used to, I'm like, why can't I run this fast? Why can't I do this many pull-ups? Why can't why can't I last this long? In different exercises. And that bothers me after a while.
Yeah,
You know, and to take that in a lighter direction, that's one of those things that's kind of funny because you talk about military standards versus average, whatever, however you want to describe your body type. What is considered an average body type nowadays versus what was considered an average body type 40, 50 years ago, completely different. And it's just, it's kind of crazy how even in this discussion, like we get ourselves down a little bit. Maybe we're not like depressed or anything about that, but
That's real.
It takes you to that place.
but
If,
yeah,
if we were to live back in like the early 1900s, us being fat, we would be looked at as powerful people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that was
Meant
the
you had
type.
money.
I would be a king.
if you wanted to
that
switch
you
your
eat good.
if you wanted to switch your gender, you'd be amazing back in the day. I'm just saying.
I don't get it.
Okay, so
pre BBW.
yeah. I'm saying back in the day, like ancient times, like they were really into like big women. Like they were looked upon as like goddesses because they, the big women mean they ate more. You know what I'm saying? They were better fed. They were well off.
Yeah.
They were more royal
Yo,
type of situation.
I'm so glad
know
you said that, Jarrett, because I was watching Vice, dog, and they have this country. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna Google it and I'm gonna get it on the next podcast, like I do every time. But on Vice, I swear,
Geo's
on
moment for later.
everything. It was like Vice or the little scrawny dude with the glasses. Kind of looks like Bryce if he had hair. It's like I think it's the dude from
Is it BuzzFeed?
No, it's on Vice.
Oh, it's on Vice.
But it's the dude. He has a show called Balls Deep. I think it's like Balls Deep or something.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
But it wasn't Balls Deep, but it was his extension of Vice. So he went to this country and literally they like their women big. So the women just sit around and eat butter and milk and just stuff themselves all day so that they can fit this physique that the men want.
I cannot imagine that's.
I guess it really, that really is depending on the country because I have noticed, not to do any kind of culture appropriating and stuff like that, but I have noticed that like African guys, like they like bigger women.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They love them some big chick.
I love the big one.
But if you look at the United States by itself,
that means she can cook.
our commercials, our stores that we go to, when you go to a store and you can't, well, I'm not saying like now, because now when you go to a store you can see BBW stuff now. Yeah. They're doing more, but it's not like a bigger variety like.
Oh no, it's hard as fuck to shop for us.
It's hard.
Hard as fuck.
It's hard.
I shop at 2 stores in Lansing.
But
Two.
Myers and Walmart.
No. Burlington and City Trends.
Exactly.
I can agree with that.
United States, the advertisements is skinny women. Victoria's Secret, just everything is a skinny woman.
Yeah, I was trying to shop for designer clothes the other day, and they don't sell anything above XL. No. And I'm like 2 and 3.
What store was you shopping at?
I was on like everything online. Literally, like just like designer, because I was trying to dream, trying to be a famous rapper, looking at like Balenciaga and stuff that I can't afford. But none of their stuff goes above XL.
Yeah.
It's
dude,
crazy.
I just got down to a 3X. Okay. And now I can buy some stuff at Walmart or Meijer. You know what I'm saying?
And it's hard to shop. It's hard for me to find my pants. Like the last time we went, like the day of your party that we came to.
The gender reveal.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I wear a size 42 and I had to dig.
Yeah.
I had to dig. Like literally it stopped 40, 36, 38, 40. I had to dig for size 42 pants.
That's why you should shop at Burlington or City Trends.
Shout out to Burlington
because they, like for real, your paying size is still smaller than mine.
It just makes me feel like that we're not accepted. No matter what, we're not accepted because why don't they sell? Why does everybody have to be in this one bubble that everybody has to be skinny?
Because no, it's not that. It's just because all your life. It dates so far back. I can't even tell you where it dates. All your life, you're told that you have to be a certain thing. A woman has to be long, flowing, beautiful hair. She has to have an athletic build and big boobs and a big ass, and you know what I'm saying, and all of that. And then a man has to be rich. A man has to be this. A man has to be that. And they sell they sell and they advertise things that way.
Well,
You-
sorry.
Go ahead,
Bryce.
Bryce. Let Bryce say it.
Bryce, go ahead.
Oh no, I had a slight change of topic. I had a specific question for Cassandra. So if you guys want to finish that,
Yeah. Okay. I haven't talked for like 5 minutes. I want because we're talking from an adult perspective, and since Davion is in high school, I want to see is this the same standards that y'all have, in high school? Like, cause for us it was a little, black and white for the most part, but what is it now?
Well, I would not know from experience, but because there's not really that many overweight people at my school, I should say. But my friends had told me that they had went to some schools, and that if you were overweight, you were like it was all bad. Like,
It's bad for you. Yeah.
you couldn't do anything. Like, if you couldn't, and like, cause in elementary we used to run these little laps around school. It's like these little laps, and they didn't let you go play it till you did it. So the kids that were overweight, they never got to play at recess because they never could do it. So all the other
hell
kids
no.
got
Are
to
you
play.
serious?
Wow.
Talk about planting
yeah.
self-hate.
I would be up
that's
there in
rough.
the principal's face
Nigga,
like, yo,
fuck Luton.
you need to
That's
let
rough.
my
Fuck you,
motherfucking
Luton.
kid play. Fuck that.
Let me take that a step
But,
further though, man. Let me tell you what they doing to these kids, right? You know how when we was growing up, we had kindergarten through 5th grade,
Right.
6th through 8th, 9th through 12th.
how they-
My daughter's school is kindergarten through 3rd, and then you got 4th through 6th, and then 7th through 12th is in high school.
Yeah, they're gonna make a
Are
lot
you
of.
serious?
They're gonna make the pregnancy rate for teens to go way the fuck up, cause the 12th graders are gonna look at the 7th graders.
7th graders.
Oh yeah, and they gonna be like, oh yeah, that's easy right there, and they're gonna take that.
You gotta be kidding me.
They're gonna take that.
I hope not.
So-
I mean, I go to school like that, and it's not like that as far as I know.
Okay, so can I ask you?
As far as you know.
So when we was in high school, okay, 9th grade was freshman, 10th grade sophomore, junior, and senior. So what do they call you guys now when, like, if you're in a 7th grader, what are you?
In high school, what are you? Are you a freshman in 7th grade?
I don't know. I never heard anybody really, like, say what they are.
So
I
they
mean, I
don't-
just like.
So y'all not labeled by your class anymore.
So they took that out now.
So you're just 7th graders and 8th graders.
Yeah, we're just 8th graders, and I mean, there's like 9th graders through 12th graders that sometimes say like they sophomores and stuff like that, but not really any.
But so they're killing-
only on like the announcements in the morning. They be like, "Oh, seniors, don't forget this and don't forget that." They don't really say it. Students don't really say it, or people like the principal don't really say anything like that. It's just
So it's pretty much just nothing until you're a senior.
yeah, pretty
That's
much.
crazy.
That is wild.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
or until 11th grade, you'll be a junior still.
That's crazy.
Before, I didn't want to go too far. What were you gonna say before,
Yeah.
Bryce?
No,
Yeah, let's
I
switch
had
the
a question
subject.
for I had a question for Cassandra. It's actually kind of where we started, and Gio said something about young girls with long hair. So what I legitimately don't understand. So I'm gonna ask you to explain this to me and any of our listeners who also don't understand. What is it specifically with black women where there is
Oh shit.
no. This is gonna go. No, this is gonna go the opposite direction of what it sounds. Where my understanding is there seems to be this pressure on black women to have long, straight hair, which black women don't naturally have.
Say
Okay.
Josh, the white man.
I'm gonna start.
You see that in Hollywood too.
It's
Well,
wait. Let me answer this
Let the woman
because
talk.
Hold on,
It's
question.
stem-
Before, have you seen the movie with Chris Rock, Good Hair?
No.
You need to watch it. All right,
No,
go ahead,
I've
babe.
not.
it stems from everywhere. Because if you sit back and actually look, commercials, what do they advertise? A white woman with blonde, long hair. When we're kids growing up, you hardly see a black woman on a commercial or in magazines with hair like ours or skin color like ours. We have our hair is not advertised like Caucasian. When I grew up, all I saw. So we thought, like me personally, I think that okay, that's acceptable. That's what I'm supposed to have long, pretty hair. I'm not saying like blonde, but if
Yeah.
you notice, us black women go to the extent of going to buy all this hair, spending their money on this long, pretty hair because they feel pretty. I think that it stems from what is accepted, like in the United States. Like we don't see. I don't like it. Have you ever seen like a commercial?
No, you
like,
know what I've seen? All the black models that I've seen are all bald.
Well, and to Cassandra's point, I watched How to Get Away with Murder, and the lead character is Viola Davis.
Yeah, Viola Davis.
And she has the hair, but there's a couple episodes where she takes a wig off, and that is not her hair. Her hair does not look that straight, wavy, quote unquote white woman hair. But let me ask you this, Cassandra, because of that answer that you gave, do you think that we are past the point of no return to where we'll never be able to just say, hey, your natural hair is your natural hair from a societal standpoint?
Hell no.
Not if your natural hair is not what's
deep in?
beautiful.
Not what's beautiful. You know, people are in different countries are bleaching themselves because white is what's the best. Like white people, like for instance, being black. We're not. If you really sit back and think about it, we're not accepted no matter what culture we go to. If we go to Mexicans, we're hated. We go to even people in Africa hate us. Caucasian hate us. Different. We're just hated by everybody, and I don't know why. Like we were brought here on ships. Okay, we were nappy hair, and we didn't look. We looked at awful. Like,
as
but
portrayed by the white man.
Yeah, that's our hair.
That's our hair. That's our natural.
Hair.
But we were taught that that's not.
Yeah,
that's not normal for your
when
hair
you're
to
taught
look
all
like
your life
that.
when you're taught all your life, nappy
so
is
generations
bad.
after generations, people like, okay, I have to be white. I have to do. That's why. Oh, and back in slavery, if you were light skinned, you got to work in the house. Because you were beautiful. You were this beautiful with beautiful hair.
I think that was because back in slavery times, if you were light skinned, you were the master's kid.
You was a master kid.
But they're not gonna have their kids being out.
What they did was they did this thing called the paper. I think it was the brown paper bag rule, and they said if you match this brown paper bag, you work in the house. If you don't, you work in the fields.
Ooh, that's rough.
Google it.
I think that it's
Google
just what we are taught. It's built into us. What's beautiful is not. When you go to school, long hair, when your hair is braided, when it's done, it's beautiful. You're beautiful. If you go natural, like natural is coming out a lot more. A lot of women are doing natural now, but people still like, I can't go this long
it's
without.
Not prominent. Yeah,
it's not prominent. You have to have your hair done. You have to have long hair. And you're accepted, but it's funny because a lot more men are coming out saying, "Man, I miss women who are natural. I like that natural look." And women get mad. I do what I want with my hair. I do what I want, but he's telling you that he accepts you. Yeah. He doesn't care if you have long hair or not. He accepts you for who you are.
But you know what's so crazy about that though? In the discussion of women that go natural, doesn't it seem like only when I could be wrong, only when black women get with white men do they go natural?
You know what? That is funny that you say that. But I don't know though. I don't know. Because think about Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats. I guess they're both mixed. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
They don't count. They're rich. They don't count.
What do you think here?
They don't count. They're rich.
Okay, but listen. This is what I'm saying. But this is what I had said before, Josh. I said that I swear it only seems that I see when black women get with white men, that's when they go natural.
I think it's because, in a way, I think that's really because, like Cassandra had said a few minutes ago, that basically she doesn't care about what the outside world thinks of her because she has a man at home. She has someone that accepts her, who loves her, and when a black woman gets with a white guy, I think it's just that same thing. You know what I'm saying? She thinks, oh, since I'm with a white man, the world will accept me differently in a way. You know what I'm saying? Or it's okay because she has a man. You know what I'm saying? It's just that she feels more comfortable because she doesn't have to think about, the outside world. That's
I don't know about that. I mean, I think you have to be comfortable with whatever relationship you're in, regardless. I mean, some people are just gonna. Some people are gonna look at your relationship down, whether no matter what you go with. You can be with an Asian, you can be with an Aztec woman, you can be whatever you want. Some people are just gonna look negatively on it, but it depends on. See, my whole thing, I think it all depends on a girl's like upbringing and background. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I've seen girls who are black, who are just like really, I guess you can say, I don't want to say classy. I don't want to use that word. I want to say like they're really concerned with their hair and stuff like that, the way they look, and stuff like that. But then I've also seen other girls who just don't care. They kind of just like, I have a natural hair and that's the way it is. Either you accept me or not. But I think it all goes back to, see, the game of attraction is weird though, because you have to actually play for who you're trying to get. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't come off with whatever you want thinking you're gonna land a person. Like I don't think that whole thing of when you used to be like, oh well, you accept me for who I am, for how I look. I don't think that really exists anymore.
What do you guys think about makeup as far as a woman goes? Because is it makeup?
Oh, here we go. Oh my God.
Okay, so
but is it makeup in a way a woman? Not all women. I'm not saying all women, but is it makeup a way of making someone something they're not?
No.
It's
You say yes?
Yes.
But listen, me personally, I just got into this whole makeup thing, and I really like it. It makes me look like something that I'm not in a way.
Okay.
And I'm like, dang, I like myself how I look this way better than that. But I was the other day I was sitting there looking like, damn, look how much money I have to spend to keep this up.
Disclaimer: I have never ever made any negative connotations or comments towards my wife's beauty.
No,
just so you guys don't call me a chauvinist pig on everything.
No, listen.
She's always been beautiful to me.
Listen, my
Hair
husband
on or off.
husband always tells me from the but my husband has never said, babe, I think you should wear makeup. Bonnie has always said, I don't think you need it. I don't want you to wear makeup because I think you're beautiful in your own skin, which that made me feel really good. But when I start seeing like makeup is a big thing, right? Like it's huge. And I've seen pictures of a woman, and when she did like the aftermath of makeup, she looked like a totally different person. Yeah. Her skin color was different. It was lighter than what she like. I feel like I'm not saying all, but I think that some women hide behind their makeup because they're afraid of what society would think if they were natural. It's just like my hair. Like, I don't want to go out in my natural hair because I'm afraid. Being called those names growing up traumatized me. And to be called that again would traumatize me even more. But makeup, why is makeup such a big thing? Like, why do women have to have it? Like, is it for insecurity?
Yeah.
Is it to look pretty?
I
I
think
don't know.
It's completely both. Because okay, for one, it is society, just like everything else. Women want to conform to the masses, okay, and it definitely is an insecurity thing, because a woman can basically contour her face to be what she wants and make it look acceptable to other people. She can basically rearrange her face and, figuratively speaking, in a way where she finds it presentable. She can cover up her blemishes, her imperfections, basically, so the world doesn't see it. The problem with that is that just like everything, in my opinion, there's levels to this shit. So a lot of women, may look absolutely drop dead gorgeous with makeup on, and half time as a man, you won't even tell. You won't even know that's makeup. You know what I'm saying? Because it can be done just that perfectly. But when you take that shit off, like, oh my God. Like I know one girl specifically, of course I'm not gonna say her name, but back in high school, she was like she was bigger. She wasn't cute at all. At all. But like she wasn't, like, to be real. Blocked. But when she got out of high school, she lost a little bit of weight. you know, and she looked it fucking amazing, you know, and I personally thought that it was just her. She started taking care of herself, you know what I'm saying? She became an adult and she, you know, got her priorities right. But now, just a few months ago, I've noticed, because she started doing makeup videos on Facebook and shit like that, that no, she still looks the way that she fucking used to look. She just puts on a lot of fucking makeup and, you know, contour and all that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like...
Be who you are.
Yeah, be who you are, first of all, and don't hide behind that shit like a lot of women do.
Period.
See, I don't know, man. Here's my whole thing with makeup. And
Like,
I've always
have you
said-
ever seen Tyra Banks with no makeup?
Yeah.
Fucking hideous.
I still do her. It's Tyra Banks. I hold her forehead.
Listen,
and do
so
it.
so before we go further, I finally found what I was talking about, and I've been talking about it for 2 episodes. But it's called Mauritania, and they're called fat farms. Google it. I'm not gonna talk anymore about it, but I found it.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to that was Giovanni's sponsor break.
Google it.
Anyway, Gio won everything in my time on the mic. Anyway, no. When it comes to makeup, I see no either way about it. Like, if you like a girl with makeup, then go for it. If you don't like a girl with makeup, then start wiping off eyebrows to see if it's real. But
That shit's so misleading.
But this is my thing. If you're going to have Facebook, if you go into a situation, Facebook, my watch went off. If you're going to have makeup and you go into a situation with a lot of makeup, like so much that it changes your face, that needs to be a disclaimer. Like, to me, I know it's a hard analogy or something like that, but having so much makeup is almost like being transgender to me.
What?
Almost.
Oh, goddamn.
In the sense of this.
Wait, you just said wearing makeup is
No. I said wearing a lot of makeup.
Let the man finish.
Okay.
Let the man finish.
This is what I mean. So I have no opinion if you want to be transgender or not. Your personal business is up to you. You know what I mean? But just a disclaimer: if you are, then just let me know. Way
yeah.
I can decide if it's on me. So if you wear a lot of makeup and you look totally different from the person,
You need
who's
to show
gonna-
me who you
yeah,
are.
I need to see some pictures. Because if you wake up, if okay, so say some people are big on I know some people big on overseas. They're big on the heritage and kids. So if you want to get with a girl, you want to have a kid with her, and she's you think she's just drop dead gorgeous, and you're like, oh my God, I'm having pretty babies. Then one day she walk out looking like Sloth from the Goonies. Then what?
Dog, listen.
You know what I'm
what,
saying?
dog?
That's
The crazy
real.
thing about that is though, it's women out here that will literally and I don't know how it's even possible, because there's women that they wear lace front, they wear the wigs, and they will literally lay with somebody, live with them, be with them, and they will never ever let them see them without that hair on. How the fuck do you do that?
It's because it's
That's
skill.
insecurities right there.
But
Like,
here's-
deep insecurities.
Wow. Talk about full circle. but
Like
you're
that's
right.
gotta be
Yeah.
that's gotta be like a full-time job.
It is.
I'm gonna snatch it off. I want to see it. I want to see who you really are.
That's why when having sex, you always gotta give it a little tug.
Yeah, but it's not even that.
Hey,
it's not
tell
even
him.
that. It's not even
Learn
that.
the
My
trick.
thing is, I just
Don't
want
be
to
telling
see.
him tricks.
But listen, my thing is, just like Jarrett said, I want to see who you really are. Because if I fall in love with who I think you are,
Yeah.
then when I see who you really are, it's gonna be like I'm talking to a stranger.
But come on now, you guys. You're dating. You're all adults here. I mean, come on. You're not gonna sit here and tell me that you're gonna be with a woman for so long and not know who she is before you say I do.
Hair out.
Shoot. You
No,
know what?
blood. Not if
go
you
ahead,
falling
go
in
ahead.
love with this fake persona.
Go ahead, David.
I mean,
But that to me,
With
I
this
think that's your
mask.
fault. That's your
jumping
fault
in.
that you're falling in love with a fake persona.
No.
When you ask,
Wait, whoa,
when
whoa,
you
whoa.
ask
Hold up.
her first before you fall in love. I mean,
yeah.
when you
How is
want
it-
to
How's it
know,
our
listen,
fault who we fall in
first
love
At the
with?
first date.
Where's the fine
But I'm
print in all
saying,
this?
but
At
why
the
would you
first
wait
date.
until you get into this serious relationship before you find out who that person is? Shouldn't that
I'm
be
not.
off
No,
back?
I'm gonna
Because
ask her on. I'm gonna ask her on Black People Meet.
Okay, now hold on. Some women hide that shit very well. Very well. Now we all know a girl who I used to date who y'all know who I'm talking about.
Oh, yes,
Y'all
Lord.
know who I'm talking about. When we first got together, she seemed perfect. She seemed so fucking
she
perfect.
fooled me.
Facts.
And then,
Facts.
once some stuff happened,
Facts.
she changed completely.
She
Facts.
fooled me. You're right.
Facts.
Like,
Facts.
Dang.
Okay.
What
No.
was I gonna say there?
So-
Women will do that.
So we got a guest over here who hasn't spoken very much. He had something to say.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah,
I'm genuinely curious. Go
he
ahead.
wants to talk about Minecraft.
Yeah, you funny. Anyways, on the subject of makeup, I mean, most of the time, especially me, I'm gonna ask you, what's your true identity? Show me a photo. Show me something. Anyways, but if you don't, and the girl hides behind the makeup for so long, and you're in a relationship for so long, and you don't figure out, and when you finally figure out, it's going practically to a man, to me, it's going to feel like that she just lied to you.
It's
Practically.
gonna mess you up.
You was
blood.
betrayed.
It's gonna mess you up.
Yeah,
Period.
your whole world is gonna be fucked up, literally.
But I'm saying don't let it get to that.
Sometimes we
school
can't.
knowledge.
Sometimes
That's
we
why-
can't help it.
Listen, that's
You know what
why I
I'm
said I'm asking her on Black People Meet. I want a with.
Why are you
and-
on Black
I
People
Why
want
are you on
with
Black People Meet
and
anyway?
with-
Oh shit.
Oh shit. He
Okay,
was
there-
He's in
So
trouble
listen,
now.
there's this one time, right?
There was this one time what?
And I was testing apps for this one company. But no, look, on everything, no. Listen, if you in that position, and if in fact you are talking to a woman on Black People Meet, so since I gotta speak that way. Listen, you gotta have I want to see what you really look like, especially if you got this whole mask on, because there's women that walk around here with entire masks, and that's cool if that's what you look like. But I want to see who you really are. Period. No surprises.
That's true though, because I mean, think about it, Cassandra. Women are the sneakier of the sex.
Facts.
Think about it.
Sneakiest.
Women hold
Foxes.
secrets and ideas
Sneaky,
and
Charlie.
feelings,
Snakes.
and emotions for the
Sneaky.
longest time.
And men don't?
No. Here's the
Charlie.
thing about
No.
it's the thing.
Yes,
about,
men do.
No.
We lie
It's a big thing about men that
Some
women
do. I
tend to
don't.
not understand. Men are always putting everything they think about, everything they have, every feeling they have in front all the
Facts.
time.
Facts.
That's literally what we do all the time. Like we can't help but put, we can't help but put our feelings in front all the time. You know what I mean? But women, y'all hang on to stuff.
No, okay, I gotta come to women's defense here.
Oh shit!
No.
The
No,
only
no.
one that makes
Okay,
sense on this.
Listen to me.
feminist.
Listen to me
Yes.
first. Listen to me first.
Let him talk, please.
Bryce the feminist.
The white
So
Let him talk.
I agree with what I think Jordan. Wow.
Wow.
I don't even know where Jordan came from.
Wow, I didn't know how to feel about that.
Where Jarrett's premise came
I'm
from.
telling Sarah.
Which is that men, we don't generally hide our looks because we don't wear makeup, generally speaking. But where men do keep secrets is always the really dark crap.
That's
they
a
got a
fact.
stash of gay porn or child pornography. I mean, I hate to say
Yes.
it, but that's the crap you see from men.
Okay,
Whoa.
That's
Time
a bit
out.
extreme.
Yeah, that's
No,
way
but
extreme.
he's
That's
right.
That's extreme.
fine.
though,
You
I
can't
bud.
lay a blanket statement out there saying
Wait.
that men don't hide stuff.
Gay porn
They
or
do.
children porn? Fuck no.
That's extreme.
But
That's-
wait a
that's
minute, men
extreme.
lie about their finances. How?
How do we? Y'all
Yo,
check them.
no.
Yeah, it's a fact.
Okay, but
No,
You
men
watch
do.
everything I spend. Don't say
Okay.
you don't.
Oh, yeah.
I do.
It's
All
fine.
right.
down,
So
but-
how can I lie?
But I'm saying I'm talking about people first starting out in a relationship. Men portray themselves as this baller, as a nice, well put together man.
I didn't.
And we're in high school. Of course you didn't.
You never had game. But anyway,
Okay.
go.
Go ahead. Continue.
Okay. So you guys, you come with a nice clothes, shoes. You portray yourself as this nice, well put together person. But then when a woman starts dating you and she notices she started paying for all the meals, and
What girl?
Hey,
I
all
wanna
right,
know.
all right, Pete. Question: will we get you without all that though?
Good question.
Will we get you
Good
without
question.
all that though?
it depends on the woman.
Will we get you
and what
without-
she
No,
expects.
No.
It depends on the woman.
That's
No.
real. That's real.
That's true. Okay, but
That's
listen.
real.
Okay, but listen. Okay. All right. So, all right. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna circle back to the last episode. We talking about standards.
Oh, here we go.
We talking about standards. You feel me?
Taking
So
it back.
last
Just know
episode
that
we was
we are
talking
over
about
now.
standards, and one of the things that I said was that you shouldn't set shallow standards because you can limit yourself.
Oh shit.
You feel me? So,
But
now,
if a woman tells you her standards when she meets you, and you betray that you have those standards, and come to find out you just this man that she didn't want, who's being untruthful here?
But-
you are.
But if you meet
if you know
off
that
gate, but listen, if you meet off gate, what that woman decides that she wants,
No, but this woman.
Let me save
she
all of our
tells you
listeners
what-
some time. The next 20 minutes, just go back and listen to our last episode. Like, honestly.
hold on. The
Should we
only
be
one
thanking
that
people for listening to this?
the only one that makes sense on this podcast.
This is stupid.
Oh, man.
No, but that's
We gonna finish this.
No,
We will.
Because you know what the thing is, like man, like
We gotta.
even-
Sorry, go ahead.
Hold on.
Man.
How long have you been going? Because I might have to cut this
We're
short.
over an hour, yo.
We're over an hour.
Hey, see, Jared
We're
was-
making this episode an hour and a half. We have a guest.
Jared was about to be like,
We have two guests.
see, Maine ain't like a dog.
I know. It's all about
Bryce, what do you think?
Yo, the couples episode gonna be fire.
I was about to. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, it is.
I started to
Hey,
interrupt. I didn't
that's
mean to.
crazy.
I was gonna say in the future we are planning on doing a couples episode. Everybody's gonna be able to have a chance to meet my wife.
It's gonna be
Josh's
like-
fiance.
It's gonna be like 3
You've
hours.
already met
I swear to
Cassandra,
God.
but she'll
Jared's
be on
right
there
hand.
too.
Too bad you can't come to that podcast.
I'm coming. I'm just. Shut up,
yeah,
baby.
No. Jarrett is gonna be there. He's already talked about some of his past experience, specifically on the
bringing a
last
date.
episode.
Jared gonna bring his
he-
gonna bring his stroker.
He's gonna play mediator.
He's bringing
role.
Angela.
So
Oh, y'all hating on me.
Pamela.
just a little preview, you know.
Paul Oliver.
I just
We got
all I'm
Georgia
saying to
Wheezy
end this
over
is
here.
that men lie just as well as women. Yes, women hide behind their
Women
makeups
lie, men
and
lie,
everything,
women
but
lie,
men
men lie.
portray to be this baller. He got money and
Because
and
what
he
you-
can take care of a
But if
woman.
that's all you see women
that's
want,
one.
But
just
no,
like
But
no,
don't
you're
lie.
right. You're right. Gio's right. Both genders lie because they want to portray what they
What they think
perceive
the other gender wants.
Exactly.
That's
but
perfect. Yes.
but am I correct? You guys just said that us women we hide things, but you guys don't. That's for my.
I
No,
never
no,
said
I'm
that.
saying
that's not
both
what we're
hide.
talking
I'm saying
about.
both
No,
hide.
I didn't
He
say
didn't.
that. No, we said that. No, listen.
We have a finger literally being
Listen,
pointed right now.
listen, that's not at all.
that's it?
That's
A
not at
literal
all.
finger point.
That's not at all what we said though. We said that you guys are better. We said that you guys are sneaky, Charlie. Sneaky.
Yeah, I use the word sneakier because women. Because here's the thing about women.
Sneak.
Women build up
Yes.
their emotions, their
Oh my
anger.
God.
Dudes, we let it out immediately.
Quick.
God dang it! Why ain't no food here? Like, that's how we are. You know? That's literally how we are. 'Cause we get upset.
That's facts, though.
Because man, we have a three like strike rule. The first day we're like, oh, I'm really hungry. Just worked 8-hour shift. She got no food. Hey, babe, you want to get something to eat? Cool. Next day, babe, you didn't cook anything? No, I ain't cooking anything. Why
What
not?
the fuck is you doing?
The third time, it's just like throwing plates. Like, are you serious?
I'm tired of yours.
All day.
No,
ain't
but listen.
food?
Okay. All right. This is.
Oh,
Go ahead.
But women on the flip side, they go. This is what they do. They go. And you know what that is?
It's over.
It's a little save deposit. It's Control S. It's just saving it up,
putting it away
just,
for later.
putting it in the documents.
Right.
And then soon as it's like 2 years later, oh really? Me not cooking?
They're gonna take the key out, unlock the drawer, open it up. Let's see.
I can't disagree with that.
Okay, but listen. This is all I'm saying.
2017. You said this.
I know, right? Boom.
Yeah, pull the mic.
This is all I'm saying. This is the last thing I'm gonna say about this. Basically the sum of this whole conversation. It's my turn to be Bryce. Okay. So basically, right. But anyway, when I look on Facebook, and all I see is women talking about, I don't want no broke man. I don't want no man that's bummy. I don't want no man that's this. My man got to have this. He got to have this car. He got to have this ride. We are literally taking that. Like, okay, all right, so she wants this, she wants that, she wants me to wear this, she wants me to wear that. We go to the store, we shop for that. Y'all see the vixens in the videos, y'all see the men talking about this, y'all see the rap videos, and y'all see all of that, and y'all, what y'all doing? Y'all taking notes. So when these two people that been taking notes, they come together and meet, 9 times out of 10, you see what we think you want us to have. And then you find out who that person really is. So that's why I feel like you should not have shallow standards.
So, on that note, would you guys be okay if I tried wrapping it up because I've got something I want?
Yes, sir.
So no, I'm really curious. because this topic is so huge, and I'm sure we're gonna come back to it on the couple special. I really want to know what our listeners think. You know, comment on Facebook, shoot us an email. You know, comment on YouTube. Yeah.
Takeoff underscore anytime PC at gmail.com.
Because we're watching that stuff, we're reading that stuff, and we'll address it on air. You know, let us know.
Yeah. Like, comment, share.
Again, takeoff underscore anytime PC at gmail.com.
Can I say one
take
thing?
off anytime on YouTube.
One thing, because I don't think it's fair to bulldog women. So I need to say this. I was watching somebody's show earlier, and they had this thing like I think it's like called a man crate or something, and they had like all these things a man would want. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is your typical idea of a man? Because I don't, a lot of times like they say man should be like shooting deer and grilling and drinking beers and stuff like that.
Doing
like,
masculine things.
Like
where that coming from?
no, I was thinking about it all day, and I wanted to say it earlier.
Maybe
but,
in like 1960.
No, like literally now, like
Is
I
that
feel
because you're Metro and you do a lot of girl shit?
you don't even know what metrosexual means.
Metro grooming wants some more.
Look,
nigga.
I'm gonna start writing down all the words Josh does not know or understand, and I'm gonna bring them up.
How do you figure that?
Metro,
I don't know what
communism,
Metro means
dictatorship.
because
Vampires.
you doing doing things that a girl may normally do, and a guy doing it, that can be seen as Metro. So how's that?
No, that's not metro at all.
Okay, so the way you said that was Metro as fuck. But okay,
Look, I still think you don't understand what metrosexual is.
Yeah.
And that is time. That's for the next podcast.
Metrosexual is extreme self-love.
Yeah.
Jarrett has that in a way.
It's extreme self-love. Those are the guys that get prettier than their woman before they go out.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
That's metrosexual.
I don't think Jared's that.
Do I need to send?
Metrosexual.
Okay.
No, not
That's what
I
metrosexual.
I won't say
There's
that
nothing
that
wrong with wanting
extreme.
to look nice when you go out.
That is what metrosexual is.
Okay.
So, like really being up, like you constantly like worry about your hair, going about
Period.
getting your pedicures and your manicures.
Listen, if you ever meet a woman and she says, "Look, my guy has to be my guy tries to get prettier than me when we go out," 9 times out of 10 he's either gay or metrosexual. It's either one of the two, and 9 times out of 10 he's metrosexual. Period. That's what metrosexual is. Extreme self-love, just like complete and utter, just everything. Yeah. Manicure, pedicure, clothes and cure, all of that.
Oh, and I thought about the word we were thinking about last episode. It wasn't democracy. It was bureaucracy that we were looking for.
Bureaucracy, yeah.
Bureaucracy.
Okay, I didn't Google that one. Thank you, Jared.
You're welcome.
I didn't Google
That's I was hearing it and I was like, I gotta bring it into the thing. All right, but anyway, Bryce is touching his watch. It's time to get up out of here. So we want to thank our guest here.
I might be back.
Yeah, he might be back.
I'm definitely gonna be back.
She will be back.
Oh my god.
Of course she is. She's gonna be here for the couples episode talking the most.
Facts.
All right, you want to give a shout out to anybody there, Davion?
Did you just diss me?
No. What's up?
No, none. Not.
I mean, shout out to my Uncle Jarrett for bringing me here.
Hey,
It's been a nice little time.
That's love.
Wait, do you have a gamer tag for your Minecraft?
Wow.
Hey, no, I don't have a gamer tag from a Minecraft.
And I just want to give a shout out to you guys for having me here, and shout out to myself for intruding. It's nice having a conversation.
You didn't intrude.
Shout out to all the kids who are in high school or around the world that, went through bullying in their life and have some sort of complex from the things that you were made fun of in school. Just know that you're not alone, and we've all been through it. And if anybody who ever has any sort of problems in their life or are currently going through some things and you by any chance listen to this podcast, feel free to comment or, message us and talk about it. We as a community all have went through similar things, and we just want you to know that we're here for you.
Yeah, true that.
Oh, and also for all them kids in high school, if you getting bullied, don't keep it in, but also don't snap, because you get snapped, you may get expelled.
Yeah, true that.
True.
Realer words were never spoken in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Real. So I say thank you, Cassandra. Thank you, Davion. Really do appreciate it. You want to say any last things? Feel like you want to say something?
Nope, I'm hungry as hell. Let's go eat.
All right.
Josh, take us out.
And my man's over there always talking about Minecraft. I think you play it more than I do.
He does have
First of
children
all-
that play that game,
First of all,
so
I
he
play.
has no choice.
First of all, I play Madden sometimes, but when you get older, you get this thing called a job. Anyway,
he figured it out.
Damn.
Gio wants everything and a friend from Minecraft.
Plus a cheeseburger. All right. Anyway.
Hey, has Jarrett taken you to get a manicure yet? Anyway, let's take a side.
I'm gonna let it fade out. I'll say it for next time.
Okay, on that note, thank you everybody for listening to us. Thank you for all the support, for the love. Thanks for everybody who fucks with us. And if you don't fuck with us, fuck you. We still gonna take off. Good night.